Ian Healy is the new batsman. He has been sent in as the night watchman.
Australia 1 for 6, an overall lead of 195. And Healy adds a 4 to it from the first ball.
Way down there at deep backward square, but not deep enough. 4 runs. Well, you won't see anything better than that. He is absolutely marvellous, that guy. Not only did he anticipate it and go with the ball, but you could almost say never really looked like dropping it.
Ian Healy out for a very positive innings.
David Boone is the new batsman, 2 for 49. That's down. A legitimate chance there. Scores for Mark Taylor in this series: 58 and a duck, 15, 61, 2, 26, 76 and 59, plus what he's got today and what he's got there to add to it. That's the stroke we were talking about last over. He picks up 4 from it, and up comes the 100. It's 2 for 101.
That won't be any problem for David Boone.
Off the inside edge. So Walsh finally gets his wicket. He's had a lot of hard luck, but Boone has dragged that one back into his stumps. Bowl for 30, and Australia are 3 for 142. And Alan Border comes in for his 215th Test innings. No one in the history of the game has had as many in Test cricket.
It's in the air, but it's safe over the top of the keeper's head. Very hard to set a field for those sort of shots, and that's 4 runs. That's a very good delivery there from Courtney Walsh. It's been a magnificent bowling performance from him this afternoon. He's got a little bit of movement again from the wicket here, this time getting the inside edge of Alan Border's bat onto the stumps. So he's bowled David Boone with playing one on, and now Alan Border, the Australian captain, is on his way back to the pavilion. Dean.
Alan Border, with his injured left thumb, can get a good enough grip on the ball for him to take some advantage of the roughage outside the right-hander's leg stump. Again, for the left-arm spinner or the leg spinner pitching in the rough, he doesn't get the same value because it's outside the right-hander's leg stump, and the right-hander knows he can't be leg before once it pitches there.
That's the end of the over. It's 4 for 169.
So I wonder who will be bowling at the other end. Surely not Courtney Walsh, who's bowled 15 overs in between lunch and tea. What do you reckon, Roland?
Well, I think really he's got to give Curtly Ambrose the bowl now. He had a spell this morning, and really he's due for another spell now.
Malcolm Marshall hasn't bowled very much either.
Yeah, Malcolm, he didn't bowl too much today, but I think Courtney, he's got to try. He's got to try Curtly Ambrose now, because he does need a wicket.
He is still going.
An even greater effort when you consider that he didn't have too much time to rest, as the spinners were on at the opposite end. Usually the West Indies have on their fast bowlers, and when one fast bowler is taking 4 or 5 minutes to bowl an over, it does give the other one some time to rest in between. But with Richards and Hooper taking sometimes 2 minutes to bowl an over, it's really been a demand of stamina on Courtney Walsh.
Not even Viv Richards can get across to that. They'll take 5 for that.
Dave Joseph, the substitute here, will be feeling some embarrassment at having given away runs, but he went for glory, and in fact if he'd hit the stumps that could well have been out. So he took the chance, and why not? Dave Joseph, age 20, from Antigua, plays in the Leeward Islands Red Stripe Cup team. Saw the opportunity of a run out in his test match as a substitute and went for it. Okay.
Now there's a chance for a run out if he hits the stumps. Taylor was charging down. Jones, still bemused by the appeal, had his back to him. Once again, good fielding and a good throw.
To the naked eye, it looked very much as if this did too much for umpire Barker to give it.
Just over to going down leg side. There's the throw. And, well, you had the bowler in front of the stumps. And I think the fielder on the left of your picture there suddenly realised that the ball might have hit the stumps had the bowler let it go. Take the single this time to Richards. So they're living dangerously out there. Nice take by Dujon. That's the end of the over. It's 4 for 175. The ball will come due in this third session of play. Whether he takes it or not will be a matter of judgment later on. The point you were making, Tony, about the left-hander bowling into the rough stuff outside the right-hander's leg stump. Richards is in the situation where West Indies, well, I doubt if they can win the game. More likely they'll be playing for a draw. And in that sort of area, the left arm over the wicket into the rough stuff loses a lot of its validity.
And yet I saw Abdul Kader in Barbados in the 1988 Test match against Pakistan come around the wicket, deliberately bowling into the rough. And the West Indies batsman insisted on sweeping him, or attempting to. Gus Logie was bowled round his legs. Richie Richardson almost caught it slip. Richards almost caught it short fine leg. And then someone seemed to twig that it's impossible to be out leg before to the ball pitch outside the leg stump, and they cut the shot out.
And it's 4 for 179. And they absolutely killed them, with Greenwich making a double 100. So we'd just give them a little bit of leeway because they're such a great side and they have such great batsmen.
And of course, the evidence of this series so far, where Australia made 348 in the first innings in the second test and batted through the first day and a half and still lost that by 10 wickets.
It's a good shot from Dean Jones. Wasn't all that bad a ball. Pitched roundabout off and cut towards the pads.
Shot he played a couple of times in the first innings. One off Patterson, almost carried for a 6. He's got to be very careful playing it here because Walsh is making this ball move both ways. He picked the right one there. Courtney Walsh now with 157 wickets. He passed his 150th in this series. Average just under 25.
He looked as though he completely lost sight of that in the background of the players' dressing room, which forms part of the side screen. He's well outside off stump. Playing a shot. I think we could say it probably would have hit the stumps.
Would have hit about 3 inches from the top, I think. But a number of batsmen do complain here at the Antigua Recreation Ground, certainly used to, perhaps more so than now with the new stand here, about the sighting at the northern end.
I felt that Carl Hoover there was bowling a bit of the wrong line there, a little bit too wide.
Yes, I mean, he's having to bowl that sort of line to Mark Taylor in particular, because Mark Taylor's looking to sweep him over square leg. And noticeable enough, over a couple of balls turning quite sharply.
I'm sure Taylor will be watching that with a great deal of interest.
The logo for the Red Stripe Cup competition in the background there. Competition which brings together the teams here in the West Indies, the domestic competition. Won this year by Barbados. And Walsh has struck again.
Yorker. And the little bit of a shoulder as well down the left-hand side, and it's 5 for 184. Now there may not need to be a declaration the way the Australian tail has been going. Dean Jones back in the pavilion. LBW has been given. Walsh has slipped the Yorker in, and now Courtney Walsh is on a hat-trick. He's pulled one off before in Test match cricket.
Hit him on the full toss. Low down. 2 consecutive Yorkers from Courtney Walsh. This has been a tremendous spell of bowling. And Australia are 6 for 184.
Mark Waugh in the first innings, 139 not out, and a duck in the second.
Well, it really is boiling up into the most extraordinary match. This, once again, there's been a sudden twist of the fates on a hat-trick. So let's have a look at that LBW dismissal again with Roland Butcher, see what he thought of it. Here he comes. Was this out for you, Roland, or not?
Again, this is a good piece of bowling by Courtney Walsh. He's kept the ball well up here, it's swinging in. But I think Mark Wilder is very unlucky. That ball would have gone on the missed leg stump clearly there.
Well, look, could win this.
Well, I mean, the West Indies now really are into the Australian tail. You've got Peter Taylor at the crease now. If you remember, Ian Healy came in as night watchman yesterday, so he's out. So really, Australia have got a lot of batting to do now.
Here comes Walsh on a hat-trick.
Well, it was the ideal delivery. Called it very well.
Well, he went for the Yorker again. and he bowled it just a little too full. And a little offline.
And now Hooper has two left-handers to bowl at, Mark Taylor and Peter Taylor. And no matter how much rough stuff there is outside the left-handers off stump, you still have to bowl accurately. Now that's spun and kicked and jumped, but it was a little astray. Peter Taylor will have seen that ball 2 deliveries ago take that remarkable leap out of the rough stuff. I suspect his first move might be to hurl his pad at the ball.
Long-range conversation between umpire Steve Bucknor and Peter Taylor. Something to do with his guard. It seemed to hear.
Nice little addition to the score there for the total. Anyway, it doesn't go to Mark Taylor, but it went off the helmet. There we go, 5 runs. Goes on to buys, and Mark Taylor goes back up to be in strike.
Courtney Walsh here in his 45th Test match. First played against Australia back in 84-85 when he made his Test debut at Perth. He had toured England that summer, and he's progressed through the system here in the West Indies, through the Jamaica youth team when he opened the bowling with Patrick Patterson as an under-19 in that competition. No ball called by umpire Barker. And then moving the ball off the seam both ways. And he's got 4 extremely good wickets. He's picked up Boone, Border, Jones, and Mark Waugh.
Yes, long day in the field for them. And irrespective of who is batting, they are out there. They never win the toss, as Douglas Sanghu once said. Almost, says Carl Hooper. Pretty good effort there from him.
It's the quicker one. It's 6 for 197.
Let's go back a couple of overs and have a look once again at that incident when the ball hit the helmet. In fact, we can't go back and have a look at that again, I'm afraid. But interestingly, that Lloyd Barker gave 5 runs. Now, that's perfectly correct, because according to Law 41, if the ball hits the helmet, then 5 penalty runs will be awarded. But it also says they should be added to the runs or runs already scored. Now, they actually crossed for another 2, so that should perhaps have been 7, not 5.
To say about Max Walker, you just wind him up and let him go, and he just bowls all day. I think Courtney might be of the same ilk.
Or he might be using a particular type of battery. Yeah.
Race between the two Antiguans, Viv and Kirtley Ambrose. The older man wins. I think Kirtley did sort of stand aside and let the captain win the race.
Well, you have got to show respect for your captain, Ian, and also for your elders. And also for your elders.
That brings up the 200 for Australia and takes Mark Taylor to 97.
Well, Mark Taylor has been soldiering on through all this happening around him. Australia losing quite a few wickets recently. 168 for 4, 184 for 5, 184 for 6, and Mark Taylor stood his ground. 184 for 6, and Mark Taylor stood his ground. Very good innings from him here.
Off the helmet and away for a leg bye. Another one of the strange quirks of this game that we play. Get hit in the head and it's a leg bye.
Peter Taylor definitely not looking at that delivery at all, taking his eyes off it. Once he saw it was short, he decided, well, that's it for me. I'm not interested in that ball anymore. Patient innings for him.
Taylor needs just 2 now for his century.
Not boasting, Ian, but I think we have the best gas, that brand that we do have at that station in Jamaica. I wonder what brand that one is.
Well, he's still got a bit of gas left in the tank. That was a great effort, but I think it might have just about been the last effort from Courtney. It's been a tremendous performance from him.
Well, Courtney Walsh just nodding there, and I wonder whether Vivi was saying to him, thank you, Courtney, take a blow, we'll take the new ball and let Malcolm and Kirtley have a dart.
Yes.
Courtney Walsh has just had a chat with Viv Richards. Now he's got the long walk back to deep backward square, or is he heading for the pavilion? In fact, he is heading for the pavilion. Magnificent spell from Courtney Walsh.
And young Hamish Anthony getting another stint on the field.
And there's the century for Mark Taylor.
A very good innings for Mark Taylor. He has stood his ground while others have been tumbling around him. Praises be to Allah, they say. Taylor's 7th Test century, his first against the West Indies, and his 21st first-class century. 229 balls, 8 fours and a 5.
Anthony, the fieldsman there.
And it's the 2nd Test century, Australia versus West Indies on this ground. For Australia, that is. The 70th century, one Australian in Australia versus West Indies. I don't remember if I got 100 in each innings, but I know I didn't get any wickets at all.
Terrific placement there from Mark Taylor. That's a good effort from Desmond Haynes.
Only managed to save 1 run, but saving that run has allowed Peter Taylor to get on strike. And I'm sure Curtly Ambrose prefers bowling to the other Taylor, the one on your screens right now.
One advantage the West Indies will have when they do begin their second innings, or when they have their second innings, they haven't got any left-handers in the top part of the order. Only Curtly Ambrose in the number 9 spot. So Peter Taylor will be bowling to mostly right-handers. Won't have. Good turn there for Hooper. The lead is now 400 for Australia.
Important thing is that even though he's had some luck, he's been able to put that behind him and get on with the job. It's been a very good job for Australia. Vivian Richards, the fieldsman.
But his job, and he's doing it quite well.
That's very nearly the shot of the day for Mark Taylor. He's played some pretty good ones. Into position very quickly, beautifully timed.
Yes, this is a well-executed straight drive here, ball well up, and he's hitting it very straight. Not putting a lot more pressure on the West Indian bowlers. They look fairly tired at the moment. Don't forget they're still short of a bowler, Patrick Patterson, off the field with a strained muscle.
But they've even been better than that. Taylor able to keep the strike. That takes Australia along now to 6 for 218.
Especially against Mark Taylor, had him in just a bit of trouble a couple of times.
Richie Richardson from slip will do the chasing, but it won't be able to catch it. Taylor accelerating the scoring rate at the moment. Almost a repeat, only this time from the back foot, and not quite as well struck. Curtly Ambrose is the fieldsman.
Mark Taylor now has got 413 runs in the series. First test he got 58. Second test he got 0 and 15. Third test 61 and 2. And 2. Fourth 26 and 76. And 59 in the first innings in this test. He's now not out 118.
It's in the air. Malcolm Marshall moving around, can't get there. Keeps the ball in front of him, but whether he didn't pick it up early on or not, thought there was a chance he may have been able to make the ground, but in the end, he couldn't get there.
Yes, this is a flick just over the mid-on field. I thought wasn't a
quite a productive over there for Mark Taylor. He's moved along to 121. And Australia are now 6 for 226.
Yes, and the one in pink is Vivian Richards' daughter. The one in the pink top.
Mark Taylor really stroking the ball all around the ground.
Courtney Ambrose will have a lot of work to do, seeing that just taken over from Courtney Walsh, who bowled 26 overs, and got 4 for 56.
Had a pretty good delivery there from Curtly Ambrose that doesn't bring the just rewards in his view. It's a bit difficult for Mark Taylor to pick that Yorker up.
Yes, this is a very good Yorker. He nearly got through, got an edge and flew past, well, just sort of bisecting the wicketkeeper and first slip. Went for 4. Far. And the way he's batting, it looked like it could be quite a lot more.
Very consistent performer, Mark Taylor. He prizes his wicket dearly. Capable of playing shots on both sides of the wicket. That's the end of Curtly Ambrose over. Australia now 6 for 235.
The spear here is a bit heavy. Sun has gone in, so he might just get the ball to do a little bit here at this stage.
Bangs that one into Peter Taylor. Looks a little bit uncomfortable playing it, but keeps it out.
Yes, this is a short one. And Peter Taylor playing it more or less like a tail ender. Nearly ball just nearly rolling onto stumps. Peter Taylor
in Barbados. Sure the supporters have enjoyed this one a lot more.
The score 6-2-3-8.
A bit of swing there for Malcolm Marshall. But the selectors weren't the ones that had made the mistake, it was the media. 53-run partnership there between the two Taylors. Peter Taylor has only scored 4 of those. But he's done a very good job, as he did in his first Test match. In the second innings, Peter Taylor made 42. That's very close. That's out. Peter Taylor. LBW to Malcolm Marshall. That's his 355th Test wicket. This is his 76th Test match, and he's now equal with Dennis Lillee, who took 355 Test wickets in his 70 Test matches. So the 7th wicket for Australia falls.
Yes, this is one that comes back from Malcolm Marshall. Looks quite plumb. And Australia's lost the 7th wicket with a score of 237.
W to Malcolm Marshall. Good delivery there from Marshall. Swinging in from outside off stump, around the wicket, Marshall. Peter Taylor's well outside the off stump when he finished, but pretty close when it hit him. So we've got a change.
If he was actually in line with his pads. 7 for 237. That was a good partnership. Worth 53 runs, of which Peter Taylor made only 4. And Merv Hughes is away. And not even Viv Richards can cut it off. He must have got that off the meat.
Well timed there, Merv. At the end of the over, Australia now 7 for 241.
With a lead like that, and not taking each run that's available. Well, perhaps that's the reason.
That was an excellent shot. Rising on his toes and just clipping the ball through the mid-wicket region. Well timed as well.
It may be that Taylor is happy to have Hughes face Marshall, but doesn't want to put him up against Ambrose. Or not, lovely shot. Let's take the single there. He could have had 2 for the fumble if he'd moved through the first one quickly. Ground. Well, he's going to keep both bowlers as much as he can to himself. And after Merv played that lovely off drive in the previous over of Marshall. Southern end at the moment. That's a single Hughes. Yes, so those clouds coming in from the east. It looks dark, but it's okay out in the centre. No ball called, so there's no need to take a single there. If Taylor's intent on keeping the strike, he gets 1 for it anyway. We were saying a little earlier he's been a fraction lucky today, but he has played really well. These are a couple of chances he had.
Certainly a very good innings from Taylor, taking full advantage of the chances that he received. This is one of them. Of the tireless Courtney Walsh. Cooper just failing to grab that one. And then, of course, a chance that went a begging again, this time Jeffrey Dujon. Not really accustomed to making too many stompings on the West Indies team, but this was an opportunity to do one. Just fumbling it.
And the heart of every spin bowler will bleed for Vivian Richards. Now it's Merv Hughes facing Marshall. Good cricket. Chance for Taylor to pick up 4 if he can get the ball through the infield. That's good running. And very frustrating for the fielding side. It's 7 for 251. Put him down. It's racing away out towards the boundary as well. Courtney Walsh will cut it off. So Mark Taylor has another life. Difficult chance to Curtly Ambrose.
It seems as if Curtly Ambrose wasn't really expecting this one to come back at him. Delivered straight through his arms. Just bouncing on the fleshy part of the palm of the hand and on the way down towards the boundary.
That's the highest score ever by an Australian on this ground in a test match. It hasn't taken long to beat Mark Waugh's figure, which is 139 not out in the first innings. Biggest score on the ground, that honour goes to Vivian Richards, 178 against Australia in 1983-84. And we were talking about the bowlers, the spin bowlers used. Hooper bowled 27 overs for 61, Richards 8 overs for 29. And Hooper was dangerous against the left-handers. 7 for 255. I think he's decided now that Merv's got his eye in. We're getting up towards the 450 lead. That will be at the figure of 261. Dick Malcolm might have decided enough's enough. He's generated a few more yards against Merv now. Seven for 258. Batsman out. Marsh 1, Boone 35, Porter 5, Jones 8. Mark Warner score 32 for Healy, who came in as night watchman. 7 for 258. This is going to be Ambrose to bowl to Mark Taylor, who's had 5 lives. Only 4 to go. And just harking back to that Indian match, which established the record for the highest 4th innings score to win. On the question of overs, they made their 406 for 4 from 147 overs. So that was round about, or roughly a day and a half they took to make those runs. 90 overs to the day by modern day standards, and then another 54. He's got him this time. And that was a very good catch at this stage of the day, stretching away to his left-hand side. But Taylor has got 144 for Australia's left-hand opener. Congratulations as he goes past Vivian Richards.
The end of a very good innings here. Curtly Ambrose not making the same mistake twice. Well pitched up. But a very, very good innings here from Mark Taylor. Brilliant innings, 144 runs to his name. Players, spectators, everybody applauding. A long innings, outstanding. Well appreciated by this large crowd. Australia now 8 down for 258. Craig McDermott looking to give himself some room there, trying to hit the ball over the slips or gully region.
It's 8 for 259.
Craig McDermott on the receiving end for once from some of the hostile stuff. And let's just have a look once more again at the end of Mark Taylor. End of a brilliant innings, wasn't it, Roland?
Yes, I mean, this has been a great test match innings here. Built on solid defence, great application. Here, not quite getting to the pitch of a drive, aiming down the ground and giving Curtly Ambrose quite a smart catch to his left.
Curtly Ambrose would have got it.
Not quite. Another 6 inches perhaps, Malcolm.
Day here today. Seen Mark Taylor play a fine innings of 144. Seen some good bowling from Courtney Walsh in particular. Not the most orthodox hook shot you're going to see, but very effective.
Merv Hughes does pull very well, even if not always attractively. 4 runs to him. Well, he's got that away as well. And he'll just be satisfied with the 2. Straight into his lap. Courtney Walsh has the catch to add to his 4 wickets. And Australia are 9 down for 265.
The Australians are batting as though they feel as though they've got enough runs to play with. Want to make sure they've got enough time to bowl the West Indies out. Merv Hughes again hitting the ball in the air on the offside. Courtney Walsh very happy to take the catch. Curtly Ambrose very happy that he did as well, and it's 9 for 265. Merv Hughes had some success with the lofted drive the ball before, but the placement not quite as good on this occasion. So
if Australia are all out this evening, that will be the end for the day. There'll be no time for the West Indies to go in to start their second innings. In the air, brilliantly taken. What a brilliant catch by Jeffrey Dujon. It's got McDermott on the glove, and that was a brilliant catch by Dujon.
Craig McDermott threw his glove down as though he'd hurt his right hand. That's not necessarily a good sign for Australia. Wrapped him on the fingers. Dujon now has taken 250 catches in Test cricket. This is how he took the 250th. That's a brilliant diving left-handed catch, especially for a man who had some back problems early in the day. He's looking to be moving pretty well. 248 catches as a wicketkeeper, 2 of them as a fielder in his first Test. 250 catches for Jeffrey Dujon in Test cricket. Had some problems early in the day with a back injury. Maybe the odd chance that Carl Hooper dropped that he could have gone for. All the same, it's a good way to finish the innings. Great performance.
So brilliant.
.454 the lead for Australia.
Here is the first ball of this last over of the day. Runs for the West Indies. Alan Border, the fielder.
That's the end of the day's play. 1 over survived by Greenwich. He and Haynes march off. The West Indies are 2 without loss, on their way to get a massive 455 if they're to win this match. Australia have 2 days to build them out.
And here's Terry.